Welcome tonight. We drift back to ancient Rome, into the gentle warmth of its great bathhouses. Imagine steam rising through marble halls, the quiet murmur of voices, and the steady rhythm of water flowing through stone. Behind the misted walls lie untold stories of those who labored in the shadows, those who built these places, and those who came seeking rest and ritual. Settle in, let your breathing slow, and allow the echoes of the past to guide you gently towards sleep. It is early morning. The first light of the sun has only just touched the tiled rooftops of Rome, yet the air around the great bathhouse is already warm. You are here long before the patrons arrive. The walls are rough stone, still cool from the night, but soon the heat of the furnaces will press against them. You shovel wood into the fire mouths, sparks jumping briefly before vanishing into the darkness. The roar of the flames is low and constant, a steady heartbeat that will warm the caldarium, the hottest of the bathing rooms. By the time the first visitors arrive, the scent of damp wood smoke lingers, mingling with the mineral temps of water and the faint trace of oil from yesterday's baths. Others collect yesterday's discarded towels, worn rough from repeated use. A few tend to the braziers that will warm the tepidarium, ensuring its air remains at the perfect enveloping warmth. Imagine yourself in the narrow service corridors behind the grand facade. The one-school walls now radiate warmth, and beads of sweat gather on your brow. Inside, the bathhouse remains its own world, a place where the work of many will soon vanish beneath the leisure of a few. You wipe them away with the back of your arm, the gesture already familiar, already forgotten. And so too has the endless, unchanging rhythm of life behind Rome's misted walls. You begin your day in the stokeroom, where the hypocaustic great underfloor heating system must be coaxed to life. The rhythm of your labor is unchanging. Buckets of water are drawn from the cistern and carried up stone steps. The weight pulls at your shoulders, and the rims of the wooden buckets bite into your palms. You pause only briefly, breathing in the moist air that gathers and thickens as the hours pass. Water drips from a crack in the vaulted ceiling, each drop marking the passage of time. You trace your fingertips along the cold mosaic floor, the tiny tesserae smooth under your calloused skin. Around you, others work in silent coordination. Some polish the marble benches until they gleam, their cloths moving in patient circles. In the baths themselves, the echoes are soft and hollow. There is no hurry here, only the steady procession of tasks. As the sun climbs, the heat begins to seep through the stone floors above. From beyond the heavy doors, the distant hum of the waking city drifts in vendors calling, carts creaking, the low murmur of early crowds. For now, you breathe in the mingled sense of steam, smoke, and stone. The fires are steady. The water is warm. The day has begun. Now, we leave behind the stifling warmth of the stokerooms and follow the story of the man who envisioned these grand structures. Marcus Agrippa. Imagine yourself centuries earlier, when Rome was still reshaping itself into the capital of the known world. Agrippa, a close companion of Augustus, walked these same streets, his gaze always drawn to the needs of the people. Together, they weathered the storms of civil war. Yet even as victories filled their youth, Agrippa's thoughts often turned to Rome itself, a city straining under the weight of its growth. He was a man of military renown, but in memory he is often associated not with battles, but with the quiet his eyes follow the lines of the architecture. Not with pride, but with quiet calculation. He lived forever in the shadow of Augustus, his victories and projects subsumed beneath the greater name of the emperor. Yet in the private courtyards of his home, he was known for a rare gentleness, preferring evenings of simple conversation and the company of close friends. He was no artist seeking glory, but a servant of Rome's practical needs. The marble was polished smooth, and the air carried the comforting mingling of steam and mineral warmth. He left the steady rhythm of water flowing into basins, the communal hum of 1,000 conversations rising in the mist, and the enduring promise of rest within Rome's beating heart. For a moment he paused, running his fingers along the stone wall. It was not for himself, but for the generations of Romans, who had come here long after his own name was forgotten. His buildings were gifts of permanence, rooted in the belief that Rome itself should breathe easier. He saw not just soldiers to lead or enemies to defeat, but citizens who needed the simple dignity of water. Enduring gifts, he left behind fresh water, clean streets, and the sprawling bathhouses that became sanctuaries for the city's restless masses. His life began without privilege. Born far from the shining heart of Rome, he rose through loyalty and capability. Bound always by his friendship with Octavian, the future Augustus, picture him in the early years of his public service. Walking through neighborhoods thick with the scent of unwashed bodies, their fountains dry, their cisterns neglected, Agrippa poured his energy into aqueducts, miles of stone channels that snaked across the countryside to feed the thirsty metropolis. He commissioned the Aqua Julia, restored the Aqua Marcia, and brought new life to the Aqua Virgo. From these lifelines came the vast thermae, bathhouses that would offer every citizen, from senator to laborer, a place to cleanse, to rest, and to escape the relentless press of the city. As you picture him in these later years, imagine a man standing in the shade of a half-built dome, the air humming with the sound of chisels striking stone. Agrippa's personal life, though, was marked by quiet burdens. Toward the end of his life, when his body began to tire, Agrippa walked through the completed baths one final time. And so, the man whose vision shaped the city passed quietly, leaving behind more than monuments. The hours have passed, and the bathhouse has awakened fully. Now, the air is thick with a warm, embracing mist, lazily around the marble columns, blurring the edges of light and shadow. Water drips softly from the vaulted ceilings, each drop a delicate note in the bathhouse's endless, echoing rhythm. Here the air is neither too hot nor too cool, a perfect warmth that seems to cradle the body in a perpetual twilight. The walls, lined with painted frescoes of gods and heroes, are softened by the haze. You step into the tepidarium, the gentle middle chamber, where patrons linger the longest. In this place, voices become whispers. A merchant murmurs about a shipment of grain delayed by storms at sea. Two senators exchange quiet, calculated observations about shifting alliances in the forum. Senators recline beside soldiers. Merchants share benches with laborers. And for a brief time, all are softened by the same warm air. Through the rising steam, the forms of bathers move slowly, like figures in a half-remembered dream. Generations have stepped through these doors, their lives leaving no more trace than a wisp of breath upon the misted air. Even the whispers that fill the chambers seem to drift upward, fading into the vaulted heights to mingle with centuries of other murmurs. Every sound is muffled, the occasional splash of water, the low hum of voices, the deep, steady crackle of fires far below. Gossip flows as freely as the water, mingling truth and invention until neither can be clearly separated. Nearby, a woman recounts a dream to her companion, her words mingling with the sound of dripping water until they are indistinguishable. Within these misty walls, life moves in gentle cycles, the present slipping seamlessly into memory. Each moment as fleeting and insubstantial as steam itself. Not secrets exactly, but fragments of stories carried through the mist. Everywhere life unfolds in miniature. An old man traces the veins on his own hands, lost in thought. Young boys, flushed from the caldarium's heat, laugh quietly as they test the cool plunge pool, their movements sending gentle ripples across its glassy surface. There are other, subtler whispers here, two tucos of superstition and belief. Some speak of the healing properties of the waters, claiming that ailments are drawn out by the heat and left behind in the steam. Others tell of sacred springs hidden deep beneath the city, their waters blessed by forgotten gods. A few, with lowered voices, insist that the mist carries omens, that the patterns of vapor rising from the pools reveal glimpses of the future to those who know how to read them. The bathhouse is, in many ways, a reflection of the city itself. Within these walls, distinctions blur. You pause at the edge of the caldarium, where the heat is most intense. In this quiet, you notice the timelessness of the place. As the day lengthens, the bathhouse remains a sanctuary, its warmth undisturbed by the shifting world beyond. As the afternoon sun drifts lower over the city, the bathhouse begins to empty of the morning crowds. Now, only the wealthiest patrons remain, patricians, senators, and esteemed guests who treat these halls as a second home. You move with them into the private chambers, where the marble floors are warmer underfoot and the air carries the faint aroma of imported oils, lavender, myrrh, and rose. The voices here are softer still, each word measured, each gesture unhurried. Imagine yourself reclining on a cushioned bench, the stone beneath you polished to a gentle sheen by centuries of use. A slave approaches with a small bronze flask, pouring a thread of perfumed oil into your palms. You rub it slowly into your skin, the scent lingering in the heavy air. Around you, conversations unfold in muted tones. A senator, his toga draped carelessly about his shoulders, discusses property matters with a visiting diplomat. And to simply exist in the soothing warmth of these carefully tended spaces. Another man listens in silence, his gaze fixed on the ripples of a nearby pool, his thoughts clearly elsewhere. The attendants begin to gather the scattered cups and towels, their motions practiced and unhurried. The last echoes of conversation dissolve into the stillness, leaving only the steady drip of water and the lingering warmth of the stones. The only interruptions are the quiet footfalls of attendants bringing trays of honeyed wine and bowls of fresh figs. The fires below burn low, the steam thins, and night settles gently over the empty chambers. The rhythm of their lives is a slow current. The patricians' faces are composed, but behind them lie the countless decisions and expectations of status. Here, away from the bustle of the forum, they allow themselves brief moments of stillness, till they, too, fade into the quiet of sleep. A place where, for a time, they can let the demands of empire drift into the haze of steam and murmured voices. They pass from the caldarium's dry heat to the cool embrace of the frigidarium, pausing between each to converse, to reflect, and yet, even in their privilege, there is a quiet wait. Outside, Rome continues its restless movement, carts clatter over cobblestones, merchants haggle, and the cries of street vendors rise into the evening air. But here within these serene walls, time seems suspended. The bathhouse becomes a world unto itself, a sanctuary of warmth and water, where even the most powerful can momentarily escape the relentless weight of their lives. As the day fades into twilight, the patricians depart one by one, their sandals whispering softly against the stone floors. You linger for a moment longer, breathing in the quiet air. In this silence, you reflect on all that has passed within these walls. The sweat of the unseen laborers, the ambitions of the builders, the murmurs of the crowd, and the fleeting comforts of the privileged. The rhythm of their days has faded, but the bathhouse remains, holding within it the echoes of countless lives. And now, as the last traces of steam dissolve into the cooling air, let your thoughts drift like mist, unbound and weightless.